Oh, we on. What's up, everybody? Really badass butter TV, man. I'm back. Just to I'm back on the same thing that I was on yesterday, the MAGA lady sentencing and the new Trump indictment. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to put it up on the screen so people could see it. And yeah, we're gonna go through it together. I got it today. And yeah, before we do, yeah, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Billy Badass Butter TV, man. When I get it, y'all get it. I'm gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Whether y'all like it or not. You know what I'm saying? I know people don't really watch the news no more because nobody wants to listen to the media, the lamestream, the mainstream media. But I'm gonna say this about Diddy, and then I'll leave that alone because everybody talking about the Diddy indictment, but everybody's getting the same information from the media. You getting it from the media, and it's all good when you're getting it about somebody else. But when you're getting it about people who you like, then you don't want to believe the media. But I digress. We're going to get into this new Trump indictment first, and then we're going to go back to the lady sentencing. And I'm going to let y'all hear what the judge told that lying woman, that privileged woman who asked for a magnetic mattress in her jail cell for her next 9 years. And the judge told her how privileged she was, because she's sitting there with four attorneys, uh, from the Trump team and from the Mike Lindell pillow team. And she was in the mansion and flying private jets, just like, the other rich people. And while she's crying about it being an injustice, she's sitting there with all the lawyers in the world. The judge it was sentencing day for that judge that sentenced her. He's he's sentencing poor people. He's sending poor people to jail. People sitting there with the DAC, the Department of Assigned Counsel, who get paid by the state to railroad their clients. It happens every day in every state. I don't care if it's red state, if it's blue state. It don't matter. The prosecutor is going to cook the criminal, period. And we're going to get into this indictment of former President Donald Trump. Uh, we're going to read the indictment just like this. Look at this. Look at this. In the United States District Court for the District of Columbia, right? The United States of America versus Donald J. Trump, right? Grand jury was convened on this. The violations count one under U.S. Code 18371, conspiracy to defraud the United States. Count two, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. That's what he told all the people of January 6th to go down to the Capitol. It's going to be wild. We're going to fight like hell to get our country back. Word to the wise. You cannot peacefully and patriotically fight like hell. I ain't never seen a peaceful fight in my life. Okay, I ain't never seen a peaceful fight. There's no such thing as a peaceful fight. Everything that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth is an oxymoron, and anybody who believes him is a moron. That's my opinion. In my opinion, okay. So count number three under 18 U.S. Code: obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. And count four, conspiracy against the rights of you, America, you voters. Yeah, Donald Trump wanted to take your 2020 votes and throw them in the trash can if they were not for him. So that's the conspiracy against the rights of his own countrymen. right? If he loves America, like y'all say, why would he do this to his own countrymen? But I digress. The indictment, the grand jury charges that at all times material to this indictment on or about the dates and the approximate time stated below. Introduction. Number one, the defendant, Donald J. Trump, was the 45th president of the United States and a candidate for re-election in 2020. The defendant lost. I'll say again, the defendant lost the 2020 presidential election. Despite having lost, the defendant was determined to remain in power. So for more than 2 months following the election, and even today, you okay? So we'll say for more than 4 years, this man has been lying to his own people, telling them, "Oh, we won so big, we won, we won, we won, we won." You lost. He knew he lost. His vice president, Mike Pence, told him he lost. What did y'all say about Mike Pence? You said hang him. Hang Mike Pence. Remember? Yeah, you chanted that on the grounds. You guys were looking for the J6ers, I mean, and Trump. They were looking for Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats and the rhinos, the Republicans in name only. Mike Pence, who caved and didn't cheat for Donald. Anyway, they said hang him, right? Because he didn't have the courage to cheat. So for more than 2 months following election day on November 3rd, 2020, the defendant spread lies that there had been outcome determinative fraud in the election and that he had actually won. Bull crap. He knew he lost. These claims were false, and the defendant knew that they were false. Knew that they were false. But the defendant repeated and widely disseminated them anyway to make his knowingly false claims appear legitimate. Create an intense national atmosphere of mistrust, which he's doing right now, telling his people if he loses the 2024 election, it was rigged. That's the creating the national atmosphere of mistrust and anger, and eroded the public faith in the administration of the election, right? The defendant had a right, like every American, to speak publicly about the election and even to claim falsely that there had been an outcome determinant fraud during the election and that he had won. He had that right. He was also entitled to formally challenge the results in court, which he did over 100 times and lost every time of the election through lawful and appropriate means, such as by seeking recounts and audits, which they did, of the popular vote in the states, or filing lawsuits challenging ballots and procedures. Indeed, in many cases, the defendant did pursue these methods of contesting the election results. His efforts to change the outcome in any state through recounts, audits, or legal challenges were uniformly unsuccessful. So true, so true. These are facts. This ain't hyperbole or opinion. These are facts. These are facts. Shortly after election day, and still to this very day, right? Still to this very day, shortly after, the defendant also pursued unlawful means of discounting. Hold on. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Because I can't hear me. What the hell's going on? Hello, hello. Oh, there I am. Oh, there must be a. There I am. Hold on. Anyway, let me see for a second. Hold on. Time out. Time out. Let me check it out. Oh, let me check it out. I can't even. Let me see. Okay. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Let's get it on the screen. Let's get it on the screen. Let's get it up on the screen. Okay. Bam. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Because this is public information. This is public. You can get this from the Freedom of Information Act. You know, you don't have to go to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Y'all need to stop going on X, Twitter. Elon Musk already said that's where the misinformation and the disinformation, the lies, the racism, the hate, the anger causing, the what's it called? Uh, Hold on, let me check my shit. The gaslighting. Time's up. Oh, okay. Here I come. The gaslighting is all at the highest point, right over there with Elon Musk. It's okay to go over there to Elon Musk, and or Truth Social. No, but I don't think you can do as much as you can on Truth Social, which is owned by Donald Trump, as you can on X, which is formerly known as Twitter. But I don't know why he calling it X. It's just a swipe at Malcolm X, a black hero. So that's all that is. Um, Look it up. It's not a conspiracy theory. Yeah, because they disrespectful. And in all your right wing echo chambers, I'll tell you what's common. Own the libs, mispronounce their name. Whatever you do, just make them mad, because then the libs will go off the handle and then you can do whatever you want to them. You ain't gonna do shit. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing to no libs. And last I checked, the libs were the snowflakes and the sheep of America. But now it seems to be that all Republican, wannabe, conservative, black, whether you Hispanic, whether you native, whatever you want to be conservative, all they doing is pitching to you white supremacy, and you going with it. They're telling you stop calling white men racist for no reason. One, white men aren't being called racist for no reason. If a white man had been called racist, it's because he did something or said something that was out of line, and they have to deal with that. Black people is called uh, having the victim mentality, lazy, all the stereotypes that you can think of, but we just have to live with it. You just live with it. Look at what they're doing to the Haitian community. It's a lot of Haitians that have been in this country for over 60, 70 years. And now all of a sudden they eat dogs and cats and neighbors, and they're murderers. And I mean, and this is just so sad that y'all believe this crap. Anyway, let's get back to it. Now that y'all can see it, it's the United States District Court for the District Court of Columbia. Y'all can say what y'all want. You can indict a ham sandwich. No, you can't. No, you can't. If you know anybody that has been indicted before, when their asses got indicted, their asses went to jail. When you get indicted through the grand jury then already seen the evidence against you. The indictment done already said they have evidence. I mean, evidence that you can't refute. All right. That's what happens. You're going down. This right here, this indictment against Donald Trump is saying he did all these things as the private citizen. Nothing he did in here as the United States president. According to the United States Supreme Court, President Donald Trump has carte blanche to do anything he wants and to not be prosecuted for it. So, that being said, prosecutors had to revamp, rewrite, redo this very same indictment that they did right after 2020. So it has nothing to do with the election interference of 2024. This indictment has everything to do with the election interference by Donald Trump and his friends of 2020. All the way from Jan 6, you know, those real patriots, he calls them. All of y'all are traitors to America. You went against your own country for one person's lies. Donald Trump, I'll say again, Donald Trump, whether he is president or not, he is not the entire country of America, or he is not the Constitution of America. He is not those things. All he is at the time is the president of the United States of America. And every president has to follow the Constitution. They have to follow the oath of the United States that they take. Donald Trump is even on record saying that he didn't take the oath when he wasn't president. Anyway, we're going to get back into it. The defendant had every right, like every American, to publicly challenge the election. And he did. He did that. Shortly after Election Day, the defendant also pursued unlawful means of discounting the legitimate votes and subverting the election results. In doing so, the defendant perpetrated 3 criminal conspiracies. And before I read these conspiracies, remember, he had lost the 2020 election. Therefore, he was no longer the president after November, right? So that makes him what? A private citizen. So the immunity clause that the Supreme Court issued this past summer does not help him. He was a citizen, a private citizen. A conspiracy to defraud the United States by using dishonesty, fraud, and deceit to impair, obstruct, and defeat the lawful federal government function by which the results of the presidential elections are collected, counted, and certified by the federal government in violation of 18 U.S. Code 371. Right? B, a conspiracy to corruptly obstruct and impede the January 6th congressional proceeding. Y'all know he did that. Oh, but he said peacefully and patriotically. You shouldn't have sent them there, period. Now they all sitting in jail, ruined their lives because you lied to them, Don the Con. But y'all stupid for going. So the conspiracy to corruptly obstruct and impede the January 6th congressional proceeding at which the collected results of the presidential election are counted and certified. The certification proceeding of January 6th. right? In violation of 18 U.S. Code and 51 or 1512K, and C, a conspiracy against the right to vote and to have one's vote counted in violation of 18 U.S. Code. Each of these conspiracies, which built on the widespread mistrust the defendant was creating through pervasive and destabilizing lies about election fraud, targeted a bedrock function of the United States federal government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the election, of the presidential election, the federal government function. Yeah, see, they're they're pointing everything out that he did for the Supreme Court reading presidential immunity. Yeah, we're gonna get into this a little more later, man. I gotta get going. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna print it out. I'm gonna print this out, man. I gotta get going. It's 2 o'clock. Man, y'all like, share, and subscribe, man. We gonna end with this. We gonna end with this. We gonna end with this because this is what Donald Trump's people all need to hear. Yeah, they all need to hear. They all need to hear this.
Who used and is still using your prior position in office to peddle a snake oil that's been proven to be junk time and time again. Your lies are well documented, and these convictions are serious. I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could. You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen.
Yeah, another
we're here today for sentencing in Miss Peters' case.
Her freedom.
Before I get into my comments, I'll enter judgment of conviction consistent with the jury's verdicts as to counts 1, 2, 4,
voting machines,
6, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, then she got 9 years. 9.
As it relates to
9
fines, fees, and costs, a $2,000 fine will be ordered as to counts 1, 2, 4, 6,
9.
As to counts 8, the max. You are no hero. You abused your position, and you're a charlatan who used and is still using your prior position in office to peddle a snake oil that's been proven to be junk time and time again. Your lies are well documented, and these convictions are serious. I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could.
Bottom line.
You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen. All right, we're here today for sentencing in Miss Peters' case. Before I get into my comments, I'll enter judgment of conviction consistent with 8, 9, and 10. Such that it's not the prosecutor's job to determine what is or isn't exculpatory. It's the defendant's job to make those decisions. Here, the argument is that back on, I believe, June 25th, Ms. Peters went to the clerk and recorder's, not office, but where the ballot box is located, some distance, I don't know if it's 100 feet or not, away from the actual physical office. She went there with at least one camera person. It looks like maybe someone else was also there with her. Apparently she was voting. She had some conversations, according to the affidavit that's been drafted for her arrest in that case, with election officials who would be employees of the clerk and recorder's office, which she was not allowed to have conversations with. Her presence was noted by Ms. Bance, one of the witnesses in this case, who alerted law enforcement, who then did the investigation that resulted in everything I just said being uncovered and ultimately that warrant being drafted. The defense made some requests for that information. Once through the police department, it was denied. According to the defendant, because it was an ongoing investigation, the DA said that they didn't have anything, if I'm not mistaken, but that they would turn it over later when they got it. They didn't do so. Looks like the warrant was drafted well after the trial occurred. So it is well settled that for the purposes of discovery, evidence that could be used to impeach a witness, motivations, the like, would fall under a Brady type of requirement to be disclosed. But as I said earlier, there's quite literally nothing that's been provided to me that suggests anything in this arrest warrant or that what Ms. Bance said, who was an important witness to the prosecution, would be construed objectively or even subjectively through the lens of a defense attorney as favorable or exculpatory to the defendant, particularly where there's video footage of the interaction that occurred between the defendant and the individuals who may have been employees of the clerk and recorder's office. So Ms. Bance's mere reporting of the same to law enforcement is what it is. And certainly in any event, to the extent there was exculpatory value to it, as the case law says, it was incredibly minimal and could not undermine the confidence in the verdict. I'll nevertheless let the people respond to it. And to the extent I might not be divested of jurisdiction to consider it, hold a hearing on the same if I find one is warranted after further briefing. I make that record just to close that loop for the purposes of any appeal issue that might come up in the future.
Okay. Okay. So he did
the purposes
that.
of sentencing have been alluded to, particularly by the prosecution. I'm not going to repeat them all, but I say generally the same thing. That is, the purposes are statutory and they include, but are not limited to, promoting the acceptance of responsibility.
I see why.
That doesn't mean that a defendant has to take responsibility. To the contrary, Ms. Peters has exercised her right to a jury trial. She's exercised her right to hold the people to their burden, and such cannot and will not be used by this court as a means by which, or justification by which, to punish her, but rather the sentence itself is to promote the responsibility acceptance, not to ensure that someone takes responsibility. However, once they've chosen to exercise their right to go to trial,
take no responsibility.
I consider deterrence in sentencing. That is both general and specific, that the sentence I impose must deter Ms. Peters from engaging in similar conduct in the future, but it also must deter others generally from engaging in this type of conduct.
From listening to
rehabilitation
lies
where appropriate. I consider punishment where appropriate.
Fraud,
I also must ensure that the sentences I impose are consistent among offenders similarly situated. But I must also impose a sentence that is designed to meet Ms. Peters' unique needs.
Unique needs.
The defense has, and Ms. Peters in particular, has remained quite defiant, which is her right, but certainly not helpful for her lot today.
No.
And in arguing why I should impose a particular sentence, she tells me about her ailments, her loss, her struggles in life.
Yeah.
But in reality,
got magnets in her blood.
For those of you who may have been here earlier this morning and seen some of the folks who occupied that chair before Ms. Peters, there could be not much in the way of a comparison in terms of the type of sympathy one would extend to Ms. Peters. Those folks didn't have 4 lawyers representing them. They didn't have a team of assistants helping them.
No.
They're not getting rides in private jets all over the country.
No, but you are.
No, the people who sit in that chair suffer, generally speaking, immeasurable trauma in life, struggle mightily with alcohol abuse, substance abuse, mental health struggles, family loss.
Right.
They come from broken homes.
Right.
The cards they were dealt were never the cards that you were dealt, Ms. Peters.
You rich lady.
So when I hear you discuss your husband, who sadly passed away recently, your family struggles, and your son, who served our country admirably and made the ultimate sacrifice.
The ultimate sacrifice.
I consider it. And I know, too, that he honored his oath to the country, something that is not lost on me when considering the circumstances.
He honored his oath to the country. You didn't, and neither did the guy you follow, your MAGA
your
guy.
age, limited criminal history, and the like are certainly somewhat mitigating.
Not to America.
Your ties to the community are what they are, but your reputation at this point is poor because of what you've done here and after. Your lies are well documented, and these convictions are serious. I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could.
Mm-hmm.
You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have those histories of drug and alcohol abuse. There's no lifetime of trauma, not even close to the type of mitigating circumstances I would see from many folks who sit in that chair.
Right.
No, to the contrary, Ms. Peters, you are a privileged person.
A privileged person.
You are as privileged as they come.
You are as privileged as they come.
And you use that privilege to obtain power, a following, and fame.
Mm-hmm.
And to be sure, there's no doubt in my mind that it's exactly what you wanted, and it defies all sense of common sense to believe when you suggested to me a few moments ago that you didn't want this attention. No, you crave it, ma'am.
Yeah.
And there is no one in this courtroom who would consider
that's
that
why when she was on the lam, she was
truth.
with the pillow guy, Mike Lindell. Yeah.
But to get to the point of what it is that you did here, it's my impression distinctly that you never took your job of clerking particularly seriously.
No.
You didn't complete the certification. One scandal after another followed you in your time as the clerk. And ultimately, it was a belief that the echo chamber in which you live couldn't be wrong,
echo chamber,
among other things, that led you to do what you did.
They couldn't be wrong.
This thought process, unfortunately, seems to consume so many in our country.
Do your own
race,
research,
gender, political affiliation, or the like. That what it is we hear and think can't possibly be wrong.
Do your own research. Do your own research.
There are many things in my mind that are crystal clear about this case. You are no hero. You abused your position, and you're a charlatan.
Yeah.
Who used and is still using your prior position in office to peddle a snake oil that's been proven to be junk time and time again.
Junk.
In your world, it's all about
snake oil.
But at bottom, this case is about your corrupt
oil.
Conduct and how no one is above the law.
Y'all gonna get
no one in this country has absolute power.
Is another
your position as a clerk and recorder, a constitutional position, does not provide you with a means by which to do your own investigation, to not listen to the judiciary, to not listen to the executives higher than you, to not listen to the legislature who sets the law as it may be. This is nonsense.
This is nonsense.
The system of government can't function when people in government think that somehow, some way, the power they've been given is absolute in all respects. And that's where you fell.
That's where you fell. Where you fail.
You have no respect for the checks and balances of government. You have no respect for this court. You have no respect for law enforcement. And you do not have respect for your fellow colleagues when you were a clerk and recorder who weren't lockstep in your beliefs. Indeed, just weeks before trial, you were apparently doing what I mentioned earlier. That is, over at the clerk and recorder's office where you're not supposed to be, violating the protection order by speaking to employees of that entity with your camera crew in tow.
Wow. She was weeks before trial. Ooh.
You have no qualms with violating the court's orders because you're innocent, because you didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
You were just doing your job.
Right.
You have no problem trying to kick an officer. Your explanation about what happened is preposterous. It's on video.
She kicked the officer.
You have no problem lying to officers. It's happened multiple times.
Right.
They're recorded conversations.
Yeah.
It's just more lies.
More lies.
No objective person believes them.
Right.
No, at the end of the day, you cared about the jets, the podcasts, and the people fawning over you. You abdicated your position as a servant to the Constitution, and you chose you over all else. Yes, you are a charlatan. And you cannot help but lie, as easy it is for you to breathe.
Whoa!
You betrayed your oath for no one other than you.
Does that sound familiar?
And this is what makes Miss Peters such a danger to our community.
Like they breathe.
It's the position she held that has provided her the pulpit from which she
can
preach these lies. The undermining of our democratic process.
Yeah.
The undermining of the belief and confidence in our election systems.
Yeah.
It's not about questioning it. No one says you can't question, you can't ask. It's completely different. And if you don't understand I can say or do here today, that will change your mind.
Bottom line.
So the damage that is caused and continue to be caused is just as bad, if not worse, than the physical violence that this court sees on an all too regular basis. And it's particularly damaging when those words come from someone who holds a position of influence like you.
Ooh.
Every effort to undermine the integrity of our elections and public's trust in our institutions has been made by you. You've done it from that lectern the voting public provided you with. Everything you've done has been done to retain control, influence. The damage is immeasurable. And every time it gets refuted, every time it's shown to be false, just another tale is weaved.
Just another tale is weaved. Yeah. Every time they get debunked about their lies, another tale is weaved. Listen, everything that Tina Peters did, Donald Trump did too. And this new indictment lays out perfectly how Donald Trump did it all as a citizen of the United States and no longer as the president. So what that says is he will soon be sitting in that same defendant's chair being sentenced for all 4 of these federal counts. United States of America versus Donald J. Trump, defendant, criminal number blank. The grand jury original violations, count 1, conspiracy to defraud the United States. Count 2, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. Count 3, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. And count 4, conspiracy against the rights of Americans to express their vote. This is not election interference of 2024. This is election interference of 2020. These are the things that Donald Trump did along with Tina Peters, along with his lawyers, Lou Giuliani, John Eastman, Mike Lindell, the pillow guy. They got on that stage and they told all thousands of those January 6 people who showed up thinking that they were doing their patriotic duty for America. But they weren't. They weren't doing their duty for America. They were doing their duty for a man who told them lies. And now they all sitting in jail. They threw their life away. Giuliani, John Eastman, the other lawyers. It's a bunch of these lawyers who now have lost their law license. Has nothing to do with the weaponization of the government. When you commit crimes, you get times. There's no argument that they did these things, right? They all did these things, right? Trump still to this day saying he won in 2020. He knows he didn't. Mike Pence is in the filing. His vice president is telling the FBI, the same FBI that got Diddy sitting in there, the same people, the same media, the same everything. It's in black and white. That means it's evidence. It's in black and white. It's in black and white, man. I don't know what else to. man, we listen, there's so much in this indictment that I can't do it all in one show. I really can't. This indictment is it says everything the man did. You know, he's still doing it. He's still saying everything they telling y'all in this indictment that he said and did in 2020. He's still doing today. If that don't tell you how guilty he is, then the sky ain't blue. It just ain't. It's I don't know what color. I don't know what color MAGA tell y'all the sky is. I don't know. I don't know. They probably tell you to add 22 and add 16, add 1676 and 1776 together, and you're gonna get Diddy, and you're gonna get Diddy did and Diddy didn't, and yeah. Man, we out of here, man. Billy Badass Butter TV. Man, I'll be back on, man, with some more, man. We're gonna get into it more. We're gonna break it down. Cause get ready for the court hearing. I'm gonna bring y'all that because it's too many of my friends and my loved ones that always tell me, I didn't even know. I didn't even hear about it. So I'm gonna make sure. We're gonna make sure that y'all stay up on it. I'm gonna give it to you when I give it to us. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Really badass butter, man. Y'all like, share, subscribe, man. I gotta get out here and earn a dollar. Another day, another dollar, man. That's what they say. So let's get it. You know, that lady just got 9 years. And I feel sorry for her because she was she was sucked into a echo chamber of bull crapperoni. But she wanted to believe this shit. She wanted to believe this that Donald Trump was cheated and Hillary Clinton did it. You know, the space lasers. They tell y'all a different story every day. Donald Trump got a different explanation for why he lost every day. That should tell y'all that's the signs of a liar. When you telling the truth, you don't have to remember your story from yesterday. But then motherfucker tell so many stories. Y'all got a different story every time. MAGA got a different story every time you talk to him. Period. Period. They got a different boogeyman. They got a different group of migrants to hate. You know, different group of Americans to hate. Fuck the migrants. Fuck the immigrants. They want you to hate the Democrats. They are all American. I ain't never seen so much hate for one's own neighbor in my life. I mean, besides the basic racism in America, but we done all grown to learn how to live with that and move around that. Now it's a hatred for their own country that y'all don't even see you doing. Like you hate Kamala. You hate the Democrat. You hate Pete Buttigieg. You hate the trans. You hate the gays. You hate the blacks. You hate Chicago. You hate LA. You hate. Get a gun, though. Everybody get some guns. And it'll be all right. Sound like it's a recipe for us to kill each other. Y'all think about that. I'm out, though. I gotta go get mine. Let's get it. Big Badass Butter TV, man. Hit that button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back on because I want to go through what the lady said before she was sentenced. I want y'all to hear that privileged woman tell the judge why she should not go to jail. Right? After she didn't broke all these laws, why she should go to jail. One of them was she needed a magnetic mattress. And the other shit was real crazy too. So we gonna get into that, man. We're gonna get into that. Y'all have a good, blessed day. Like, share, subscribe. Billy Badass Butter TV. I'll be back, man. Let's get it. Go. Y'all have a good day. The shizzle.